here. Welcome everyone to the Isles Talk. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Making sure the microphone is working. Hello Periscope. Hello Twitter, Facebook, social media, YouTubers. How you guys doing? I wanted to congratulate all of the Islander fans here this evening. Shut up. I do. I want to seriously congratulate the Islander fans here this evening. And for those of you watching in the future, because you're officially going for the Stanley Cup, guys. And I mean that sincerely. And I don't know if it's really hit you guys yet. You guys are legitimate Stanley Cup contenders. Whether you want to believe that or not is up to you. But after what's been going on the past week, the Islanders are basically out of excuses. And honestly, we haven't been able to say that in quite some time. Can you guys hear me? Everything okay with the volume? Let me know. Testing, mic test 1, 2. We're all good. So, welcome everyone to another episode of Isles Talk. We're going to get right into it. It's been a very busy week. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. We had a great cancer charity event last week. We were able to raise over $8,000 to all the cancer families that were in need of it. So, was not able to get to my computer to do another show. And having done the charity event, a lot of things happened and I wasn't able to cover it. Thank you, Michelle. So, again, welcome everyone. Islander fans, get ready. Because you're now in a win-now situation. You are now Stanley Cup contenders. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you, but let me tell you why you are. First off, in order to do that, let's get into the trade deadline and go over the players that actually wanted to come here. They didn't have to waive anything. No trade clauses involved, no major cap happening. These guys actually wanted to come and play for the Islanders. So, our first trade was Andy Greene. And I may have touched on him maybe 2 weeks ago. I love this trade. Andy Greene was a very big help when he's in the lineup. And giving up a 2021 second rounder and David Quenneville, in my opinion, is an absolute steal. Now, for those of you who have been following Isles Talk over the years, you guys know I do the draft. I cover the draft. I research the draft. And it's how I'm able to get a good pulse on the Islanders, especially when you don't have direct contact. And I also learn to get to know the players as they come into the NHL. So just in case there's a trade, I don't mind picking up that prospect or two. The 2021 draft, as of right now, means nothing. Okay, and allow me to explain what that means. You're better off at this time waiting 5 years in 2026 to pluck a player off the waiver wire who was drafted in 2021, and guess what? You won the draft. I don't want to say there isn't a lack of talent there, but it's not as deep as this 2020 draft. The 2021 will take longer for everyone to develop. And as far as I'm concerned, a third rounder in this draft in 2020 could probably go in the first round in 2021. So Andy Greene going for a second round 2021 pick, and Bridgeport prospect David Quenneville was an absolute steal. David Quenneville, to me, as if you guys have been talking to me before, I have always compared David Quenneville to Sammy Vatanen. Short guy, big booming shot, doesn't let his size, get away from his game. He was just a victim of the numbers game down in Bridgeport. That's why he was sent down to the East Coast Hockey League in Worcester. In Binghamton, he could develop. Could he become an NHLer? Maybe. On the Devils, he's got a much better shot at it. But no, the Islanders made a great trade to get Andy Greene. Andy Greene fits the system like a glove. And did the Islanders really give up anything? Not really. So I wish David nothing but the best of luck in Binghamton. And, the 2021 pick, don't worry about that pick. Now, however, J.G. Pageau coming to the Islanders very, very late in the game in the trade deadline season here, guys. Does he fit the system? Like a glove. Like a glove, and that was never in debate. What I had always been told was that Pageau wanted to stay and the Ottawa Senators wanted to keep him. So it was never a fact that, I didn't like Pageau because he didn't fit the system. No, that's not it at all. Pageau wanted to stay with Ottawa. And up until maybe 4 days before the trade deadline, there was an impasse. They couldn't agree to what I'm hearing is that 6-year deal. I think Ottawa wanted 5 and 4.5. And, Pageau wanted, the 6 for 30. So, people. And the Ottawa Senators ended up calling the New York Islanders. Hey, Pageau's available. What can you do for us? And of course, Lou being the godfather of, what do you want? And lo and behold, Pageau is now an Islander. Now, Lou gave up a first rounder and a second rounder for J.G. Pageau. Now, I've seen the grades. Some of them were B's, some of them were C's. And what amazes me is that almost everyone I've seen outside of Long Island, no one gave him an A for that grade, for Lou. No one. Brooklyn, and you're moving eastward, yeah, everyone gave Lou an A. Everyone outside of Long Island, no. B's, C's, whatnot. So allow me to explain to you guys why the grades were so low. Okay, coming into this 2020 draft, in the first round, depending on where the Islanders were going to land, I'm going to go somewhere between 15 and 25. You never know, right? The Islanders could have picked themselves up a first or second line center who could have been ready in 2 years, a la Matt Barzal, and probably would have replaced Brock Nelson in 3 years. Okay? This type of draft reminds me of 2018 and 2015, where in 2018, Noah Dobson and Oliver Wahlstrom literally fell into our laps. Where in the second round, Bodie Wild literally fell into our laps. These were no-brainer drafts. Where back in 2015, Matthew Barzal, thank you Boston Bruins for not drafting him, fell into our laps. Okay, this is what the Islanders traded away with their first-round pick to the Ottawa Senators. A potential first-line centerman, probably more like a second, high-scoring one, who would have just fallen right into their laps. Their second-round pick, again, depending on the positioning. The Islanders, for now, they let go of a top 4 defenseman, where if he were drafted, he probably would have gone above and beyond Samuel Bolduc in the prospect rankings among the Islanders, and you probably could have given Devon Toews a 3-year deal. This kid, drafted in the second round as a defenseman, probably would have been ready in 3 years, and the Islanders would not even be missing a beat. So in terms of the value, right now, was it a good trade? As of this conversation, no, it wasn't. Okay, if I had to give it a grade, it's a B-. But it's also an incomplete, because I don't think Lou is done. See, when I said in the beginning that the Islanders are now Stanley Cup contenders, I think Lou is in that mode now to finish what he just started, and that was with the trade deadline. He brought in Andy Greene, who definitely improves the organization. He brought in J.G. Pageau, who's definitely improving the organization. He's not done improving the organization here. So I can't... Well, first off, I'm never going to say no to Lou Lamoriello. Like, that was a horrible trade. I mean, we'll get into another horrible trade that didn't happen, but I don't even think that was a proper trade. But if you take a step back and see what Lou's doing, he's improving the organization each time he makes a trade, but he's putting them in a spot to win the Stanley Cup now. So, was the trade needed? Absolutely. Lou absolutely needed to make this trade. And the reason why I give both Andy Greene and the Pageau trades an average for right now of about a B+ and not an A is because Andy Greene right now has more of an impact on the Islanders than J.G. Pageau at the moment. You bring in Andy Greene with Pageau, I think the Islanders beat the Rangers, because if you remember, Andy Greene didn't play for the full game. And I think Andy Greene on this team, I think they would have beaten St. Louis last night. For now. So, Andy Greene, get that trade in, that's an A. J.G. Pageau, it's a B-. For now. For now. And here's why I say for now. It's time to set expectations, folks. You've waited this long. You don't have to hear me say, no expectations, just go on and wing it. I can't do that anymore. You gave up a first, you gave up a second, you gave up a lot. You're going to have a healthy Cases Ezekias line entering the playoffs, and you are going to make the playoffs. Okay? I have looked at the standings. I've looked at all the teams that we could be playing, and I'll tell you right now, the conference finals are not out of the question. They're not. You guys thought I was crazy last year when I told you I wanted Pittsburgh in the first round. Look what happened. Guess what? I want Pittsburgh in the first round again. Bring them. Okay, this team, this has 93 written it all over it. Pittsburgh got all their little stars. They've got their big stars. That's fine. The Islanders are going to be a bunch of bullies. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, here's another thing with the standings. I'll get into the standings in a minute. I'm not really worried about the standings at the moment. I don't think it's going to matter where the Islanders are going to place, whether it's second or third. Okay. I think the Islanders are going to beat out Pittsburgh. Okay. The Islanders are going to be a bunch of bullies. What wins the Stanley Cup? Defense, goaltending, and grit. The Islanders have all three. As long as Andy Greene's in the lineup. And if Thomas Hickey is healthy, put Thomas Hickey in instead of Noah Dobson. Nothing against the kid, but I'd rather have that. Oh, yeah, John, it's an absolute mess. John brought up a great question here. Has anyone looked at the schedules? Rangers play 9 versus the Pens, Caps, Flyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, and they've got, Tampa Bay, Dallas, St. Louis. They're all tough. Absolutely. It's going to be a mess. Yep. It's going to be a lot of fun. I still think the Islanders are in the playoffs. I still think they're going to finish second. But here's the thing now. The second round, you never know. Look what happened last year. We ended up with Carolina. Could we be playing Philly in the second round? We could. I don't trust Philly. I still don't trust Philly. But for me, this is Washington's time. This is their last run. This is absolutely their last run. So it's Washington's to lose. Do I think we can beat Washington in a 7-game series? If Washington, and Philly go long enough, sure. You never know. But in all honesty, going back to the draft, you gave up a first, you gave up a second. You got to make a run at the conference finals. If you don't make it to the conference finals, don't be upset. And here's why. That Zach Parise trade threw everybody off. That would have been a major trade. That's a Lou Lamoriello shocking, I got you, I'm still in charge of the NHL type of move. Okay? What that tells me is that Lou is not done building this team up for a longer Stanley Cup run. It could be Tampa, it could be Washington, it could be Boston. That's besides the point. Okay, the Islanders in their own division can still make it to the conference finals. They have to do it at least that, as far as I'm concerned. If they don't, I think Lou is going to make a couple of moves at the draft. What they are, I don't know. But if that Zach Parise trade was any kind of a hint, I'm looking at more hockey trades than I am just cap management. Okay? And I am not going to throw out any names right now who I think is going to get traded. In all honesty, Lou is on the verge of getting Zach Parise. Okay, and I'm only going to give credit to one person when that happens. No one else saw that one coming. And when that happens, I will give that gentleman credit. I don't know what Lou's plans are. I haven't heard anything. It would be absolutely irresponsible of me to tell you who I think would be gone, what moves I think Lou would be doing. I have no clue at this point. Run with it. Have a good time. All right, let me go to that trade as well. Okay, that Andrew Ladd for Zach Parise. And then they threw in Mikko Koivu. It was Zach Parise and Mikko Koivu for Andrew Ladd, the first round pick, and Kiefer Bellows. I think I said on this show 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whenever it was, Mikko Koivu wasn't leaving. Everyone in the NHL knew Mikko Koivu wasn't leaving. So I'm trying to understand why a first-round pick and Kiefer Bellows were involved. Even if Mikko wanted to waive his no-trade clause, why are you... And you guys just heard what kind of value was at the first round as a first-rounder. Why would the Islanders give away Kiefer Bellows and a first-round pick for a 30-something thousand, over 1,000 game Minnesota Wild for life player when he's only going to be good for about 2 years? Maybe. Doesn't make any sense, guys. Okay. If I had to go out on a limb, I was going to say Kiefer Bellows and that first rounder were never involved. And as the week has progressed, it's starting to come out now that it was just more of a Zach Parise for Andrew Ladd deal. But one of the reasons why it didn't work out is because if Zach Parise has roughly 5 years left on his contract, if he plays 1 year in Nassau, he plays 1 year in Belmont, he wins the Stanley Cup, he may retire with 3 years left. Minnesota would get that kickback because he retired. Minnesota doesn't want to be responsible for that. So there's a lot of money involved. That's the cap problem that everyone was talking about. So, again, guys, I'm not going to tell you who I think is getting traded. That's completely irresponsible of me at this point. It's February 28th. We're nowhere near that. We've got 19 games to go in the season. We'll get to that later on. But for now, you have a right to say this team should go to at least the conference finals. And we had more news come out today out of Newsday, and I just forgot her name. Someone help me out. I just had a massive brain fart. Hosang will not be back. I'll get into Hosang in a minute. Oh, what's her name? Newsday. She broke the news. Nassau Coliseum, full-time for the Islanders now. I can't believe I forgot her name. And I had it. When I remember it, it'll come out to me right after the show. Anyway, Nassau Coliseum, full-time now for Islanders. Full-time for Islander fans. The Islanders now are down to one arena for the rest of their franchise existence. One this year, one this upcoming year at Nassau Coliseum, and then the rest at Belmont. There's no more commutes. Now you can sell free agents anything you want. Anything you want. The Islanders are out of excuses. Nope, not Calabrese. Not Calabrese. Oh, she's got glasses. She was in the Belmont projects itself. Oh, I feel so bad, and I can't check my phone because that's what I usually have my phone on. Anyway, Islanders, one home arena. For good. There's no excuses now, guys. There are none. The Islanders don't have any. Why is it now? No, I don't think our prospects are overrated, Mark. I'll get into that in a minute. They're still developing. And that's the issue. They're still developing. It's up to you how high you want to put the expectations for this year. This team's going to be changing no matter what. At the end of this season, the Islanders are only going to have roughly $11 million in cap space. Supposedly, the cap ceiling for next season is only supposed to go up by about $3 million. So you're looking at $14 million in cap space, right? That's not going to be enough to re-sign Barzal, Tays, Pulock, or Sorokin. It's not going to be enough. Randy Marshall, thank you so much. Thank you, Brush. Randy Marshall broke that news out of from Newsday about the Coliseum. That's not enough. It's not enough cap space to get those restricted free agents signed. So, if Lou's going to bring in Zach, and we need to make up some cap space, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what his moves are going to be. But if there's someone who knows how to manage the cap, it's Lou. Excuse me. And Curran. Okay, Curran as well. Thank you. Lauren Curran. Yes, I am going to say we do need the win tomorrow. We do need to win tomorrow. So, looking back right now, congratulations, Islander fans. You are now in it to win the Stanley Cup. As far as I'm concerned, conference finals pretty much are a must. There are no excuses. Everyone should be healthy, ready to go to start the playoffs. And I can tell you right now, It's pretty even. It is. It's pretty even. The Pageau trade, if the Islanders don't get past the second round, but yet they're able to pick up a couple of prospects with some of these hockey trades, if they're able to pick up another third or even another second rounder, then that Pageau trade moves up to an A. Because essentially you've traded Pageau for a first rounder and you've already signed him to a 6-year deal. Good move on the Islanders. If you can pick up or retrieve that second rounder or pick up another third rounder or two, you've made that trade. That's a complete A for the trade deadline deals for Lou. Absolutely. So for now, enjoy the rest of the season. Enjoy the playoffs. Is this going to be the end of Lou improving the team? I don't think so. Because I think if you're going to win the Stanley Cup, the Islanders are going to need another superstar. Now the question is, do we already have that from within? Do we have that in Oliver Wahlstrom? We could. He could be that scorer that we're all looking for. But in all honesty, I think if we are going to go after Zach Parise again, and he does land with the Islanders, he would certainly fit this system like a glove. I would love to see Parise, Pageau, and either Michael Dow Cole or Josh Bailey on a third line. I'll take that. I would. I really would. But I think the superstar that we're looking for might be in goaltending. So hear me out. The Devils had Brodeur, right? When you think of the New Jersey Devils, you think of Martin Brodeur. You go back to the 94 Rangers, forget the Mark Messier part. If the Rangers didn't have Mike Richter, I don't think they win. You go back to the Islanders, Billy Smith, 4. Right? 4 cups. You come locally, even the Rangers now, Henrik Lundqvist. I think if I got Lou's plan down, I think Ilya Sorokin could be that next superstar that Lou has been craving. Because now you have Barzal, you have Dobson in your defense. You got Oliver Wahlstrom, who is eventually going to get here. But Ilya Sorokin could take you as far as they can, as far as he can go, which could be to a Stanley Cup. So go easy on the Islanders for now, this season. Root for them. Go for this. Go at least the conference finals. They should be able to get the conference finals. If they don't, give Lou until the draft. Give Lou until July 4th. Because I will be shocked if this team is not improved by then, with all the moves that he has to make. So, it's now 7:30. Yeah, Sorokin is coming. Yeah, I've been saying that now for like 3-4 months now until I'm like blue in the face. He's coming. Don't worry about it. Is he really that good? Yeah, he could be. He is. Yeah. Yeah, he is. So, all right, guys. It's about 7:30 right now. I can also tell you we're into game 63. The percentages don't matter anymore. The percentages, along with the regular standings of the NHL, you can look at either one. They're both the same. The stress level will go up for you guys no matter what. But you can throw out the percentages. It doesn't matter anymore because we're now in the teens. And we're down to about 5 weeks to go in the season. You can watch the standings as much as you want. Yeah, good luck with that. When the KHL season ends, he will be here probably. So, all right, water cooler talk time. I'll start off again with that Parise for Ladd deal. I still think that's one-on-one. I can't see Lou trading Kiefer Bellows in a first rounder for Mikko Koivu. Like, I know he's old, but he's not senile. That made absolutely no sense at all. I think the Islanders were strictly going trade for trade. One bad contract for a worse contract, but Zach Parise for the next 2 years will probably get you somewhere. And it'll give, Simon Holmstrom some more time to develop as well. All right, so Jim Hiller's offense. Well, he's only in charge of the power play. Well, no, I consider 14% to be atrocious. We're up to about 18%, and granted, the league average right now is at 20. For now, it is what it is. Our power play went up in the playoffs last year, up to 20%. We'll see what happens. I think the Islanders have more of a concern, should be more concerned with the turnovers that are going on during the game and that have been costing us the games as well. That goes back to my younger core of Barzal, Beauvillier, and Pulock. Those three in particular have been turning the pucks over far too much, and they have been resulting in opponents' goals. I think I'm more concerned with that than I am the actual power play. Any chance Islanders re-sign Greene this offseason? I can't say no to that. I can't say no, but I'm not going to confirm for you either. I don't know Lou's plan. Honestly, Lou's plan, part of it was to bring in Zach Parise. There's only one other guy that I can give credit for that later on, and I will wait until Zach actually gets here. But Andy Greene re-signing, that's a possibility. Missing in action power play. Look, if you're going to have Ryan Pulock continue to shoot from the blue line, you're not going to score goals. Simple. Where did Pageau score that goal from? Inside the dots. Hello? Casey and Clutter coming back. Johnson must be in over Martin is a must. I'm going to say no for now, Patrick, on that. I want to see that Casey-Zizekas line. I want to see that chemistry for the playoffs. I want to see them absolutely wreck the Pittsburgh Penguins. And only they know how. Ross Johnson, he's still learning. I understand where you're coming from. But I want to see that Casey-Zizekas line. Even if this is the last time, I want to see them wreak havoc over Pittsburgh. Thank you. I know. Thank you. Yep, I like the mug too. Oh, yeah, Josh Hosang. I forgot to bring him up. So, yeah, he got sent down to San Antonio, the Rampage, which, as of right now, are the St. Louis Blues minor league affiliate. For me, in my personal opinion, I think he's getting showcased to the Central Division. San Antonio is going to get moved to the Vegas area, and they're going to be the Golden Knights' new minor league team. But for the rest of the season, Hosang's going to be down there, and he's going to be going up against, again, basically the minor league, the AHL versions of the Central Division. So St. Louis is going to take a look at him. The Dallas Stars are going to take a look at him. The Minnesota Wild are going to take a look at him. The Chicago Blackhawks are going to take a look at him as well. I think he's just being showcased, and I'm not going to lie, guys. I think this is Hosang's last chance. Could he, be traded for another AHL prospect? He could. That could happen right now. The AHL, if I'm not mistaken, the AHL trade deadline, I believe, is either this weekend or I think it's next weekend. So Josh Hosang could still be traded, I think, by next weekend. Don't hold me to that. Yeah, the umbrella power play is just not working. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. So, again, I think the Islanders are working on their power play for the playoffs. I think they have a little surprise up for everyone. including Pittsburgh, but I see them grinding it out. Honestly, I see 93 all over again. I do. I see the Islanders being a bunch of bullies playing the Islander way against the star-studded Pittsburgh Penguins, and I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to be able to handle it. I don't think there's enough defense for Pittsburgh to handle 4 lines of Islanders hockey. I just don't. Yes, the Norris Division. Who do I see getting traded in the summer to free up some cap? Great question. I don't know. Again, it's February 28th. I don't want to even tell you guys anything at the moment. It's the simple fact that Zach Parise was probably, I'm going to say, about a half hour away from becoming a New York Islander. If anybody else saw that coming, you may as well just go to Vegas and hit the slots. I don't know. Palmieri in a trade? To my knowledge, I'm under the impression still, and this is just coming from other people from the Devils, Palmieri wants to stay. Ditto with Travis Zajac. The Devils did do their due diligence in fielding offers for Palmieri and what they were going to get, but it's my understanding that Palmieri wants to stay. So I think it's out of the Islanders' hands. I think Lou would handle that the same way he did with J.G. Pageau, with Chris Kreider, and with Andy Greene. He went to all the teams and he said, listen, if things change, call me. Okay? Lou does not trade out of desperation. Ever. Did he need a third-line center like Pageau? Yes, absolutely. Was he the one on the phones constantly calling? Absolutely not. So, when it comes to Palmieri, if Palmieri does not want to be with the Devils anymore, he will go to them, and I'm sure the Devils will give the Islanders a call. But at this point, I don't really know what you're going to give up, considering that the Islanders don't have a first for this year, a second for this year or next year, and I don't know, guys. I don't know what you're going to do. That's what I mean. I don't know what Lou's going to do. If it's a hockey trade, forget it. I've got no clue as of right now. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Perez, you're absolutely right. The Islanders can match up with basically everyone in the Metro right now, especially with the Casey Zizekas line coming back. And I'm not going to lie. I'd rather have Thomas Hickey in the playoffs than I would Noah Dobson. And I'm really loving the chemistry right now between Pageau and Bailey. And I mean, we've got 19 more games of them playing together before they really get something together. And I'm not going to lie, guys, Michael Dal Cole's confidence is going way up. That kid just needs a goal or a hat trick or whatnot. He's on the brink of breaking out. I really do believe that. And I think if he continues to play with Pageau and Bailey, he's going to have that breakout. And God help everyone if he starts breaking out during the playoffs. Do I think Ladd is getting showcased for a trade in the offseason? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna stick for right now Ladd and Parise. I think that's going to be a link heading into the drafts. I do. I that's going to be a cap management. I think the Islanders and the Minnesota Wild are also going to want to try to figure out what the cap hit is, what the cap ceiling is going to be next year as well. I think a lot of teams are going to figure that out. So. We'll see what happens with Ladd. How about Taylor Hall? God, great question. Do we have enough to sign Taylor Hall right now? No, we don't. That's what you get for signing J.G. Pageau for $5 million a year now. We're down to $11 million. Tack on 3 for the ceiling, if that is true. We're only looking at $14 million, and you got to sign those 4 other restricted free agents. So as of right now, I'm going to say no for Taylor Hall. But again, things can change. I'm not even getting into... I can't see trades right now. I don't know what kind of trades Lou is absolutely going to do right now. I don't know. Could they be hockey trades? Sure. Lou knows the depth of this draft. He knows what he gave up. Okay? Granted, there are a lot of other second rounders available. But if Luke can pick up a prospect to help him win now, I think he might do that as well. I don't think you have to look at just cap management. I think if Lou can pick himself up a prospect instead of a draft pick and still work on the cap management, I think Lou would do that. But to see, I can't tell you Letty's going to get traded right now. Yeah, I think so. Any chance for Hall coming here as a free agent? I'll tell you what. That's that superstar. That's that superstar thing I was talking about before. I still believe the Islanders need one more superstar to make a cup run. But I'm really starting to guess. Does Lou want that superstar to be, go for it, Taylor Hall? Or does he want it to be Oliver Wahlstrom? Or does he want it to be Ilya Sorokin? That's the question. I'll tell you what, Taylor Hall's got to be enticed now. We're at the Coliseum all season long for the rest of this year and next year. And we got one, obviously you got one more Barclays game, I get that. But you're at Nassau Coliseum all of next year. You're in a state-of-the-art practice facility, and you're going to be in Belmont, a brand new arena, the following year. And you're going to tell Taylor Hall you got a chance to win a Stanley Cup and make the playoffs for the rest of your career. I don't think you're going to have to twist Taylor Hall's arm to come. The question is Lou going to be able to manage everything? Or is Taylor Hall even in his plans right now? I don't know. He should be. But I think as of right now, this is kind of reminding me of the late 90s New Jersey Devils, where there really wasn't one special superstar. You had a bunch of guys who fit the system, but your one big superstar was your goaltender. And I've got that inkling that I think that's what they're doing with Sorokin. I get it. You guys are right. Yes, we're going to have to dump salary somewhere. Yes, Hall is friends with Eberle. You're asking for answers, and we're still in the end of February. Those are just answers I don't have. No one does. No one does at this point. And it would be irresponsible of me to actually tell you what I think the Islanders are going to do. Because when I hear the Islanders were on the verge of getting Zach Parise, I know nothing. I'm stealing Art Staples' line. I know nothing. Okay? Shedding salary cap with Boychuk, I'll tell you right now. Here's the problem with Boychuk. He's got a signing bonus. He has a signing bonus. And so, if you were to try to buy him out, you're only saving yourself $600,000, give or take. Guys, there's no question. There's no question. I think there is going to be movement. You're right. There is going to be some kind of movement. Okay, but we're talking Lou. Lou's going to make whatever moves he can to get all of his players under the cap and make a strong Stanley Cup run. The question is it with Taylor Hall and Sorokin, or is he just going to run with Sorokin and allow Oliver Wahlstrom to get it all together? Because I'll tell you what, I think Oliver Wahlstrom is going through a developmental year. Growing pains. Okay? Oliver Wahlstrom, if he puts everything together next year, he could be ready for Belmont in 2 seasons. And then why pay Taylor Hall $8 or $9 million when you have a youngster like Oliver Wahlstrom? And I think that's where Lou's going with this. But again, I don't know. Do I think Sorokin can edge out Shesterkin? Yes. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun matchup. And I'll tell you what, right now, guys, I know you guys probably don't want to hear this, but for some of you hockey fans, you are gonna want to. Probably starting next year, I think you're gonna have a rivalry with the Rangers now that goes back all the way to the '80s. Yeah, I don't think we have seen a rivalry, a New York rivalry like this since the 80s. And I'm excited as an Islander fan, and I'm excited as an NHL fan. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I think the Rangers are going to be for real, especially with the deep draft that they have coming up. Yes, I agree with that, Richard. We need to make the playoffs this year, or a season's a bust. I agree with that. I think we will, though. I think we will, though. Do I think we'll bring Greene back? That's a good possibility. I'm not gonna lie, that's a real good possibility. That would be one form of cap management. Um, I wouldn't be shocked. And again, Lou drafted Greene, right? Greene's on the verge of getting 1,000 points. I'm sorry, 1,000 games. Kind of makes sense. I mean, depending on the schedule, you can play Greene up until game 999, wait 3 or 4 days, and maybe play at Prudential Center, and have Greene play his 1,000th game at the Prudential Center as an Islander. Okay, the Devils fans are still going to cheer him no matter what, but it's a scenario like that that I could see happening with Andy Greene and Lou Lamoriello. I'm not even going to, I can see that. I'll tell you what, David. I don't know if Oliver. You mean Oliver? Do you mean Wallstrom needs 2 more years in Bridgeport? I may respectfully disagree with that. He's been working on his game without the scoring touch, and that's been on purpose. All of the and I will do a Bridgeport end of season review for everyone here. I've had some great conversations, especially one with Alan Furing, the play-by-play announcer for Bridgeport. I have the lowdown for the most part on everything with the Bridgeport, and I will do a couple more interviews for research and whatnot. But I think you guys are going to be much more happier after what I have to present you guys for Bridgeport. But I'm going to wait a little while on that. Everything you see from Oliver right now is on purpose. I do think Thompson is back next year. Yes. Greene is day to day. Lauren, you know what? After what we just saw, Lauren brought up a good point. That would be fun. Rivalry like the 80s, but not sure it can be recaptured. I may respectfully disagree with that. I think Truba may have just woken a sleeping giant out of the Islanders. I don't think the Islanders are going to allow that crap anymore. Plus, with the development and prospects that the Rangers have, along with the Islanders, um, I think it's going to be a long time rivalry. So, listen, guys. Who do I think fills in the second line winger next year with Nelson and Bo? I don't think Broussard will be back. Anthony, I think I'm going to agree with you on that. I may go Bailey. I may go Dow Cole for now. Again, it's February 28th. We have no clue what Lou is going to do. Uh, but Trotz really does like Michael Dow Cole. I would probably be more comfortable right now with Josh Bailey at the second line, again for now, and also because of cap reasons, keeping that cap structure. So for now, I'm going to stick with Bailey and Dow Cole, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Yep, that's right, John. Yeah, the Rangers basically have to go 8 games over 500 if we were to go 11-7-2. That's true. It's in all honesty, guys, I think a 3 or 4 game win streak, and we're in. We're in, and then excuse me, we're in and then some. So listen, let me tell you what's about to happen here with Isles talking to shows. We are going to do weekly shows from here on out for the next 5 weeks. We're going to enjoy the regular season. You're all going to stress out. You're all going to tell me the season's over. Everyone should be fired. Barclay should go up in flames. I get all that. But we are going to be here every week. We are also going to cover the playoffs as well. When the playoffs are done and over with, I am still going to continue with my prospects in that the Islanders currently have in juniors, who they have in college, And I'm also going to go over the Bridgeport Sound Tigers in preparation for the draft. I'm probably not going to do a draft show, but I am probably going to do enough research to when the draft does actually happen, I will already have the knowledge and I can do a show on you guys to tell you exactly what the Islanders have gotten themselves in terms of the draft. And then come July 4th or July 3rd, I will do my end of year review of the Islanders and moving forward. And I can probably tell you at that point, the Islanders will be looking like a very different team on July 3rd. And I think they will be better than the team that they were this year, this season. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Who do we expose for the expansion draft? Great question, Joe. I don't know. Does Boychuk have 1 or 2 years left? Might be him. Not sure yet. Find out. Let's find out an older contract with about 2 years left, and we'll go from there. That might be able to answer that. What do I think about Pageau? I love Pageau. I thought Pageau fit the system like a glove. In all honesty, there are a lot of people in Ottawa, media and bloggers alike, who are absolutely shocked that the Ottawa Senators did not sign Pageau to a 6-year, $30 million contract. There's actually quite a few of them that are actually nervous about the economy of the Ottawa Senators right now. A 6-year deal basically would have gotten Pageau into the new stadium in downtown Ottawa, and that wouldn't, that's what Ottawa really needed, is to have a stadium in downtown Ottawa where money wouldn't be an issue because everyone would have been showing up. And downtown Ottawa is beautiful. So I get a lot of people scratching their heads right now as to how Ottawa could not re-sign J.G. Pageau. I've also been told that they are going to try to make Tkachuk the guy, but signing Pageau to a $5 million a year contract doesn't make him the guy. So there's a lot of confusion going on in Ottawa right now. From me though, Pageau fits this system like a glove, and that's the most important thing. In terms of chemistry for a third line, he's got it with Bailey so far, and that's what I want to see. I want to see him, Bailey, and Dal Cole. I want to see him and Bailey really take Dal Cole under their wings, and I want to see Dal Cole blossom like into a really good two-way forward, and hopefully he can rack up a scoring touch, because then that's it. Trotz is going to run that line along with the Casey Zizekas line. That's what I want to see out of Pageau. Why would Lou want an aging $8 million Zach Parise? Because Zach Parise is hungry for a cup. He knows the system, and we're not asking Zach Parise to score 25 to 30 goals like Lou was asking him to do back when he was a Devil. All you're asking Zach to do is rack up 12 to 17 goals, which he can do right now, even on a bad team like the Minnesota Wild, and he brings in another type of leadership. You got to remember, this is a Barry Trotz system where old guys succeed. Okay, except, we've had some stumbles with Johnny Boychuk, but as far as I'm concerned, Johnny Boychuk has been playing way too many minutes. Okay, and that's not by his fault either. Okay, this is a system where it's defense first, body checking, and the Islanders get to be bullies. That's Islanders hockey. That's what we grew up on. Okay, it's a system that works. Zach Parise fits this system to a T. And let's face it, who would you rather have for the next 2 years? Andrew Ladd or Zach Parise? I'm going Zach Parise. Do I think Trotz needs to change up the offensive portion of the system to get these guys to shoot more? And shoot on more opportunities. No. These guys not shooting, that's on the players. It's just on the players. When the crowd tells you to shoot and they don't shoot, it's on the players. Some of them are reluctant because they want to make that, they want to make that pass first to try to get that high percentage shot. They're not creating their own chances. They say it all the time. You can only tell it so many times, but that's more on the players than it is on the coach. Yes. Martin gets brought back up. Matt Martin is here. He was just getting a maintenance day yesterday. Yesterday's game. He's supposed to be playing in Boston, I think. Yes, we'll make the playoffs. Oh yeah, we'll make the playoffs. If not, Brush and everybody else, they'll tell you where I live. You got to travel up to Pennsylvania, and you can dispatch me from there. That's fine. What about Letty? Letty. I don't know. Letty. I'm not gonna lie. Letty's been struggling. I don't know if it's the extra minutes. I don't know if it's the system. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his partner. I don't know with Letty. I just don't know about Letty. I think he should have more goals, but I don't know. Letty still has the speed, though. Letty still has, he's still a top 4 defenseman in this league, especially on a few teams, but I don't know. Pageau was thinking of coming to the Isles and playing in Belmont. Oh, yeah. But that also helps when you have someone like Derek Brassard who's already here, and he can tell you, yeah, Belmont's coming. Belmont's almost done. So, and if you guys already know, Pageau, I believe, is staying with Josh Bailey anyway. Those guys were friends, I believe, in the World Junior Championships at some point. All right, William. William, I'm looking right into your eyes. Okay? Sorokin is coming next year. Okay? Sorokin is coming next year. I agree. We need that Casey Zizekas line back sooner rather than later. I agree. But I want that line 100% healthy. I don't want them coming back at 80%. I need them for the playoffs, and the Islanders need them for the playoffs at 100%. What he likes about Del Cole is that he's using his body. He's going into the corners, and he's not getting knocked over like Beauvillier and Barzal are. In all honesty, he's holding his own. His speed is okay, and he's not a detriment. He's really not. And if the third line actually had some scoring in there, guys, his plus minus would be in the plus right now. That if he was able to get some goal scores, get some goals in there. But he also was playing a lot of fourth line minutes, to start the season. So he's got the system. He's like Oliver Wahlstrom and Kiefer Bellows in the minors right now. They're getting the system together. I'm waiting for Dal Cole to have that Kiefer Bellow aha moment and have him rip the amount of goals in the NHL like Bellows was doing in the American Hockey League. This is nothing but development for Michael Dal Cole, and his confidence is going up more and more, and you guys can see it. He's getting there. And I think he just needs to get that 1 or 2 goal going, and that's going to be a phenomenal line. But I think Trotz has the confidence in Dal Cole because he's starting to see what he could do. But Dal Cole fits the system, especially in the corners. Will our power play improve this year? Let me see we have to see what Pageau is going to do. In all honesty, Pageau will definitely be the catalyst for that power play. What's with Leonard getting a tattoo of Long Island on his neck recently? Do you think that's into him coming back? Nope, I don't think so at all. He just loved Long Island. He loved Long Island. He loved the fans. And in all honesty, for Islander fans, give yourselves credit. You helped save that man's life. He was at a point where he was starting a hockey season completely sober and starting a new life, and Islander fans embraced him immediately, and you built up a person who needed to be built up, and you did it the only way you guys know how to, and you embraced him. You made him one of your own. You adopted him, and that's why he's got the tattoo on his neck. That's all you guys. Joe, I'm all for discussing Letty. That's fine. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong anyway. I'm not into that. I'm too old for that nonsense anyway. If you guys want to have another discussion, open-ended discussion, that's fine. I'm all for it whenever. Absolutely. No, I don't find it too 8-2 against the Western Conference teams on the roads right now because we've got one more Western Conference swing, but we haven't been doing well since Adam Pellick left. Um, a lot of the lines have been all messed up, and the Western Conference tends to be a little faster. So when we got to play Johnny Boychuk more hours or more minutes, and a younger, Noah Dobson more minutes just to try to keep up in the Western Conference, no, it's a little tough. Yeah. Yeah. He's been playing with different partners, and that's why I keep saying I don't know with Nick Letty. Honestly, I just don't. Excuse me here. So, all right, guys, listen. I don't think our prospects are overrated, Mark. I think they're still developing. They're taking their time, and that's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. As far as I'm concerned, next year, as long as Kiefer Bellows, Otto Koivula, and Oliver Wallstrom are ready to go, and Noah Dobson to a degree, I think we'll be fine. And you got to remember, those kids that I just brought up, they weren't ready, but they came up and they were part of that 17 game point streak. They fit the system, but they weren't ready yet. So imagine if Lou gives these kids enough time to develop more, where the system comes naturally, they're just going to improve the organization left and right. So give the kids a little more time. I am going to go over the prospects, though, at the end of the season. I'm going to cover the juniors, the colleges, and Bridgeport themselves. So if I haven't convinced you by then, okay, I tried. So give me a little more time with the prospects, and we'll go from there. What post, Joe? Read above the link. All right. When I'm done, Joe, I will read it and I will comment on it. I promise. How far away is Casey? I'm here in like 2-3 weeks. As of right now, if the timetable still stands. Yeah, see, Dalcole battles in the corners like Beauvillier and Barzal just can't. No, it's not concerning. Since the streak ended, they're 19-17-7. Concerning? No, they're still winning. They're still winning. You're in the toughest division in the International Hockey League. They're still in there. And when the playoffs start, they're a different beast anyway. So, no, not really concerned. So, listen, guys, a little over an hour. Thank you guys for coming. Don't forget to like Isles Talk on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Isles Talk. Follow us on YouTube and Periscope. We're all Isles Talk. If you want to follow me directly on Twitter, it's at P_Kreischer. Again, I will look at all the links. Any other questions, I will get back to you guys later on. Thank you so much for coming. Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're probably going to get into the other games. And we'll do water cooler talk, questions, comments, concerns. But again, Islander fans, give yourselves a round of applause. You're now going for the Stanley Cup. You're in it to win now. You're down to one arena for the rest of this year, for the rest of next year. You're in a brand new arena after that. You're basically out of excuses. Okay? This is a great time to be an Islander fan. You're going for the Stanley Cup. Whether you get it or not, you're no longer rebuilding. You're on a different level now. And I'm not talking 93, I'm not talking the early 2000s. I'm talking mid to late 70s here, where you have a legitimate shot at least the conference finals for the next several years. Once in a while in there, you're going to get a shot at that Stanley Cup. whether it's next year or at Belmont or whatnot. You're here. Welcome. I'm happy for you guys, and we can talk about it next week. So, having said that, let's go Islanders. Congratulations to you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. And Periscope, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you guys next week too.